Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Boxing Club podcast. It's your boy Lou Almighty. You know, I had to talk about this one. We just got past a tremendous fight, probably fight of the year so far. Turning point in the boxing game, and that was Bud Crawford dominating Errol Spence. And now Errol Spence's stablemate is taking on the king of boxing, one and only red-headed Mexican, Canelo Alvarez. What a fight. September 30th. Make sure you tune in. That's going to be a banger. I've got a little bit more invested in this fight in terms of favoritism, I want to call it. I don't want to say bias, but it's favoritism, because I'm a huge fan of the Charlo brothers. They're twins. You know, imagine one boxer that can fight his ass off, and he possesses a lot of well-rounded attributes like power and speed at the same time, high IQ, grit, durability. You know, these guys come to fight, they don't come to play. There's no, there's no fight of excuses and, oh, this happened and that happened, I couldn't get my rhythm. No, these guys come to fight, and there's two of them. There's two of them. A lot of people can't even tell them apart, and that's probably one of their biggest challenges throughout their careers, is like they'll give attributes of the other one to the wrong one. So they mix them up all the time. They don't even know who Jermell or Jermall is. One fights at 160, the other one fights at 54, and Jermell, they call him the smaller Charlo, and they're actually the same size. They're fucking identical twins. He's undisputed at 154 pounds, meaning no one can fuck with him at 54. Canelo's undisputed at 68. He's cleaned that one out. They'll always have mandatories or whatnot, but as of now, as of yet, they've already done what they had to do to be kings of their respective weight classes. So that one of the questions we get a lot is how is one guy undisputed and the other guy's undisputed and they're fighting? That doesn't make sense. Well, because they're separate weight classes. As a matter of fact, they're an entire weight class apart. So 54, 60 is a complete different weight class, and then Canelo's at 68. So people that are in tune with the media writing also say, well, Canelo's fighting a guy 2 weight classes smaller. Sure, technically yes, but Jermell was on the verge and already talking about moving to 160. He's kind of outgrown the 54, and he's already cleaned it out, so he has nothing left to prove there. So he was going to move up to 60 where his brother is anyway. So technically, yes, 2 weight classes, but really, he's only jumping up 1 weight class. Again, because he was going to 60, and Canelo's at 68, the next weight class up. Now, on the flip side, people are saying, well, Canelo's picking on a smaller guy. What's that about? Getting a easy fight, and this is by far not an easy fight for Canelo Alvarez. And on top of that, Canelo cannot make 154 anymore. His body has outgrew it years ago. As a matter of fact, he's paid, I don't know how public this is, but he's paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. I kid you not, I think he's paid like $250,000 on one of the fights where he couldn't make 54, and he had to fight at 55 or 56 or something. His body just can't make that weight. And he has a little bit of trouble making 160. He's the most comfortable at 68. He's the king of boxing. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So if he wants to fight at 67.25, that's what the contract will say, and that's what will happen, because he has earned the right to control the terms of any fight he does. He controls everything, just like Mayweather did when he reigned. So Canelo's now the king of boxing, so he controls it, and he's more comfortable at 68. He says, you want to fight with me, come get it at 68. And just like either one of the Charlos would do, they said, fucking let's do it. They called one brother, I believe, from what the story goes, they called Jermall, and he was not prepared, or he believes he couldn't prepare mentally because of personal issues. So he tossed it to his brother, and his brother took it, as he would. And he doesn't care that he's 2 weight classes away, or 1 or 2, whatever you want to look at it. He took the fight. You could pull up, plenty of videos over the past few years. They've been seeking a fight with Canelo for a long time, both of them, blatantly stating, actually, quote unquote, Jermell himself says, I stay ready, I stay in shape, and I'm willing to fight Canelo at any given moment. And that's exactly what happened. So to give my 2 cents, how I believe the fight will play out is I do believe Canelo will edge the fight, as biased as I want to be. Common sense and logic says Canelo is just more experienced. He's obviously a full-fledged 168 pounder. He's not bloated. He's comfortable there. He's already fought at 68. Hell, he's fought at the next weight class up and came back down. So he's comfortable at 68. He's got 60 fights under his belt. He's been pro since 15. He's been on these big stages. He commands the stages and the crowds and the media. Powerful, smart, high IQ. He's fought Floyd Mayweather. He's fought Miguel Cotto. He's fought everybody, really. People are just looking for an opponent at this point just to try and get an edge on him. Canelo has nothing to prove, to be honest. And he just is, at that weight class, incredibly talented. Too much skill, too much experience, too much power, which can also play against him. But I just give Canelo the edge. A lot of people are saying it's easy work for him. It is not. That's one thing I'll tell you right now. That is not easy work for Canelo. Jermell Charlo is dangerous. Dangerous. You can ask all these other guys that have fought the twins. Any of them. And most of them were supposed to be stars and got put in highlight reels. You could pull up any highlight reel from any one of the two twins and you'll see knockout after knockout. And I'm not talking stoppages. I'm talking cold knockouts where guys are falling, knocked out before they hit the deck. Cold, noodle legs, Bambi legs, cold, hard knockouts. Round 1, round 3, round 5. These guys are killers. They're branded themselves as lions only, and it's so appropriate because they fight that way. Super dangerous. Where I think Canelo, what works against Canelo in this particular fight at this time of his career is that the fact that he has been pro since he was 15. He's been fighting his whole life and professional from 15, meaning he's had to make weight. He's been in camps since he was 15 years old. We're talking somewhere around 15 years of constant diet and weight classes and weight cuts and sparring and hard sparring and these big shows and press conferences and everyone attacking him and criticizing him. I used to be one of them. And he spent his career time after time making haters into believers, or doubters like myself into believers. He literally has nothing to prove. He could walk out today and he's going to the Hall of Fame, and he's going down as one of the best Mexicans to ever do it since Julio Cesar Chavez himself. And all that carried into his current lifestyle of, I believe he's downshifted a little bit. That's actually a terrible example. I think he's let his foot off the gas a little bit. He's very rich. He's been in camp a long time. I think, he's got small kids. He wants to spend time with his family. He's taken on golf. Not that golf has anything. I know he's motivated and focused. But, he's got his promotional company. He's got, I think, something like, rumor says like 90 gas stations or something, which I'm sure people run for him, but it's still his empire. He's, he's taken all this criticism over all these years, 10 years, the past 10 years, he's had to prove over and over and over. So I think that has now started to show, right? You go back to the fight where he fought Danny Jacobs and you're like, oh my God, who is this guy? And he just gets better and better and better. And now we've reached a point over the past year or two where you see like, oh, he looks a little vulnerable, a tad bit, half a step slower. He just doesn't look like that fresh, crisp, short, stocky, dominating boxer puncher, counter puncher actually. And we're starting to see some wear and tear, I believe. That's what it looks like to me. Now, on the flip side, you have this dangerous lion, this young lion that's just looks fresh every time, always in shape, dangerous. And I say dangerous because he's the type of guy that can box you with power. And they have killer jabs, both of them. Jermell's got a killer jab. He can adjust at any given moment, but most dangerously, he can fire, or not can, but he will fire when you fire. And that's one of the most dangerous times to get clipped. He's willing to throw a power shot when you're trying to get him with the power shot at the same time. So he's willing to take yours to give you a devastating. That's the kind of power he possesses. And you know, you can ask Tony Harrison, you can ask Castano. These guys got folded by the punches, and that's just the two recent ones. And he's got a list of knockouts. So you know, don't take my word for it. Pull up the reels, pull up the highlights, man. Jermell is besides the shit talking, he's dangerous, man. These guys are dangerous. So I believe we do see Canelo in a space we haven't seen him before, because I know people are like, oh, he's 68, and Jermell's 54. He's a lot smaller in weight, a lot smaller in weight, because physically, Jermell's actually bigger than him. It's not a secret that Canelo's actually a small 160 and a smaller 68 pounder. He's so damn good that it doesn't matter. But nonetheless, guys, Jermell poses an enormous threat. These guys don't take fights for paydays. They don't take fights for, you know, contracts or exposure. These guys don't give a shit. They're coming to win. They're lions. That's the mentality they have. They're almost like they were born to do this. You get what I mean? Like look up their previous fights and all accesses and their training regimens and stuff. Ask anybody you may know, or pull up videos of people that have trained with them, and they'll more or less say the same thing. These guys were like bred, like born to do this. This is what they do naturally. They didn't just fall into it, right? So, and they're built for it, if that makes any sense. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's how I see the fight coming up. I give the edge to Canelo just due to the massive experience at that weight class. A lot of things more or less favor him logically, but at the same time, would I be surprised if we get Canelo hurt and possibly get outboxed by Jermell? It's very much so possible. It is not far-fetched. It's not going to be an upset per se. You know, it's not going to be you know, something out of left field. We weren't expecting that. No. Anyone that has that mentality does not know the Charlo twins, especially Jermell. They don't know their capabilities, and they have not been following them. They're just riding the fucking bandwagon. Again, look it up. Don't take my word for it. These guys are fucking dangerous. So, again, the Boxing Club podcast. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get Jermell hurting Canelo, and I would love a comment to tell me otherwise. You know, I'll hold anybody accountable to their comment, as will I hold myself to my own statement. Again, the Boxing Club podcast. It's your boy Lou Almighty. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that button. Give us a follow on social media at the Boxing Club podcast. Out.